Hey y'all, good evening to you all. I just want to say thank you for joining us today again on our podcast, Grief to Grace. How are you doing? How are you doing today? It's been a very beautiful day. It's been a very beautiful day. It's been like a back to back program for today. We had one in the morning, and today we have another one, and that is awesome. I'm super excited to be with you all today, and I just want to welcome you because today is a very good day, the 1st of November, and I am super excited because the year is coming to an end, and a lot of good things have has happened, and I'm like, whoa, it's so fast. How many people know that it's so fast? This year like moved so fast, and guess what? I'm like, Christmas came so early. Christmas came so early today because going around, I can see everywhere just beautifully decorated, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Christmas came so fast, right? So you're welcome to Grief to Grace, where we journey from being stuck to being unstuck. And I am your host, Ruth Hephzibah, and my mission here is to help you navigate the complexity of grief and find hope in the midst of your pain. So, through all of your stories and resilience and transformations, we seek to remind each one of us that grief is not the end, and but it is a gateway to healing and growth. And most times, like I always say, especially when I'm giving my lectures and my talk in places, I always talk about grief is not bad after all. Yeah, I was talking to the guest before this show, and I was talking to her about why grief is not bad after all. So, grief actually is not bad after all. So, you just need to be able to find purpose in your pain. So, whatever you are, wherever you are in your journey, just know that it is not a bad journey. It's just trying to propel you to the next stage of your life. And I'm super excited to introduce to you my book today, and which is A Pen That Rewrites Grief. This is one book that's going to help you in this journey. You see, I talk about this book every time because this is that book that will help you. It helped me. Most of the interventions you see right here in this book is something I have used in my journey. I used most of these interventions, in fact, all of the interventions, and they worked for me. And I'm standing here today to say, you see, this you can be that pen that writes your own grief. So that's why it is called A Pen That Writes Grief. It is a 60-day healing guide that will take you through this journey of healing. If you're really seeking a fresh start in your life, you're seeking a fresh start, then you should be ready to rewrite your grief. And rewriting your grief has to begin with you. And I'm so excited to talk about this because as you continue to purchase this, as you continue to get one and get one for your family, we are able to move this podcast forward, and we are able to help people, all of those people that need help in this season. And talking about people that need help in this season, we have a project coming up. And this project, we, especially right now that we in the holiday season, I always talk about how we can help ourselves and help people, and help a lot of people helped me in my journey. And I don't want to um, undermine all that did happened in my journey. And that is why you see that QR code right there. It is a code that you can use to share your love in this season with all those who are grieving. So it is a code that is for our project, which is adopt a grieving family. So there are a lot of people out there that are grieving. Like I always say, if you're not grieving or you've never experienced grief before, you won't really understand how deep it can be. You know, when you're in that situation, man, you won't be able to concentrate on doing a lot of stuff. And you don't want to be grieving the losses that you have and also be grieving finances. And that is why we are soliciting for these grieving families. Whatever you have in this season, gift cards, um, gift items, groceries, whatever you can give. If you click on the QR code or you go to our website, grief2graceinternational.org, you will be able to support this project. So thank you so much for joining us today. And as you continue to help and support us in this our project, God is truly going to be with you and see you through your journey. So grief to grace. What do we do here at Grief to Grace? Why grief to grace? Grief to grace is that part that takes you from grief and takes you into grace, right? It takes you from being stuck and moves you to being unstuck. And if you're searching for a fresh start coach, I am there ready to help you in your journey like a pal that will take you by your hand and move you through your journey. So if you want to know more about our coaching program, you can DM me on Ruth Hephzibah on Facebook, or you can send a message on WhatsApp or a personal message to our phone number 346 242 8041, or you can send an email to grief2gracenow@gmail.com, or you go to our website and you'll be able to find me there. I'm always available. I'm just that lady that is always there for you. So thank you so much for joining us again today. And like always, I always say that you can never get it wrong with Grief to Grace. And God gave us this project because He knows that a lot of people need this help. A lot of people need to hear. A lot of people need to move from where they are and move to the next stage of their life. And that is where we are. So today, we are honored to have um, our guest in the house. And I am super excited to um, welcome to the house today my guest. And she is a remarkable single mother with a powerful story of resilience. I tell you, she moved from grief, and today she is in grace. She went through a very painful divorce. She just so much she went through because she's from a Muslim background, and they usually have like arranged marriages, and you know the way it works. And I know a lot of persons out there, they are listening today that are also stuck in grief from arranged marriages. If you know that you are in those kind of marriages, or you stuck in something that is and you entangled in it and you don't know how to get out of it, sit back right now and listen to her story, because you definitely will learn a lot from it. And she was able to do a lot, get originally from Afghanistan, got her college degrees and all that, got into arranged marriages and arranged marriage, and you know, with living a life even in the New York and all of it all, still didn't find purpose wherever she was. She was in an abusive marriage, in an arranged marriage, and finally where she was stuck, she was able to find her feet out of it and got divorced. And today she's a single mother striving, and she never thought life was going to happen to her the way is happening right now. But when I bring up my guest, I tell you, you will know that truly life is happening, and she is so awesome. So right now, before I bring my guest up to you, I want you to just sit back and enjoy this short interlude. welcome back. I have my guest in the house, and she is super welcome to this beautiful place. Yeah, so I have my guest right now, and I just want to say that you are a superwoman. Having read your story, when I read your story, I'm like, whoa, you've been through a lot. And you don't look like what you've been through. You don't look like what you've been through. You're just awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today. And how are you doing? Basically,
I'm doing absolutely amazing. Hello, love. How is everything?
oh, everything is good. Everything is fine.
I'm
And
doing amazing because today is November 1st and
yeah,
I love new months because it's like new beginnings and the month of November is actually really, really near and dear to my heart because it's the month of Thanksgiving and gratitude is my life nowadays. I teach it, I preach it, and every single day I live it because I wasn't always this person. So the month of November is just really, really special. And I'll get more to that when I share a little bit about my story of why November is so important. But yeah, it's just I love the month of Thanksgiving and the month of showing appreciation. So
yeah. So talking about gratitude, we need to have you brought out your gratitude book, notebook to write out all of those things that you're grateful for in this year and in your lifetime. So thank you so much, Ryan, because I'm super excited. Like you said, this is time to say thank you. That was 2 days ago. I told my son, "Can you bring up our gratitude book? We need to write out all those that we need to really appreciate and say thank you for all that you've done in our life." So it is really very good, and it's something we need to do. And right now, I just want to say thank you also, Shariah, for what you've been doing to in your community. Thank you for what you've been doing, even within yourself and your home. Thank you for all you do with your followers. I just want to say thank you, and don't stop doing what you're doing. Continue, because you have a lot of lives that are tied to you. So the next voice you're definitely going to be hearing, as usual, is going to be the voice of Soraya, and she will be sharing her story on how she moved from grief to grace.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So as she said, my name is Suraia. I am a single mom to two beautiful kids who are my whole entire world. I have a 19-year-old daughter who is studying nursing currently, and I have a 14-year-old son who is literally 6'4" in height. Do not ask me what I fed him. His dad is 5'10". I am 5'4". So I don't know what happened to this kid. But like every time he hugs me, I'm like, you need to squat from now on because it's painful. It's like he's like so big and I'm like so
Really?
tiny. So yeah, so I have two beautiful children and to share a little bit about my story, I never thought I would have this day where I would be going live on Facebook or being on your podcast and being on stages sharing my story. I never thought I would have a story. I didn't even know what that meant, right? And you see, everyone has a story. There and just like everyone has a story, every single one of us are diamonds. When we're brought into this world, we are diamonds. Yeah, we're rare, we're unique, one of a kind, we're precious in our own way, right? And we're born to shine our light. We're brought into this world to shine. And we forget, just like we are a diamond, we all have stories that are unique and one of a kind. And that's why I take sharing my story, I take it, it's my passion, it's my purpose nowadays. It's what lights me up every single day. I wake up excited to share my story because I can be that beacon of light in someone's darkness, right? Somebody could be like literally on the verge of not wanting to be here. And I open my mouth and I'm like, hey, look, this is my story. And whoa, I would never think that you went through what you did. Wow, can I give you a hug? Like, wow, you look like you have everything put together, right? All of it, the beauty and all of that. I say I get that a lot, but no, I'm just human, just like you, and I have a story just like you that's unique, that's one of a kind, that the world needs to hear. So that's what Les Brown, he was the person, I'm gonna get into my story, but he was the person that would I would listen to his morning motivation, and he would say, he would laugh at his own jokes. He would literally be making me smile and laugh when all I wanted to do was crawl underneath the pillows, the covers, the blanket, right? And I was like, oh my God, this person is making me laugh. Like, and he used to always say, what's your purpose? Find your purpose, right? And I'm just like stressing myself out here. Like, what's my purpose besides being a mother? And literally, my purpose is this, is sharing my story, letting other single mothers know that, hey, you're gonna be okay. You're going to see the sun shining again. The grass is green on the other side if you choose to look for it, right?
Yeah.
You're you're not going to be where you are all the time. If you choose to look at it as, like you said in the beginning when you introduced me, life happening to me. It's actually life happening for you and through you. Whatever you're going through in your life, not just the divorce, right? It could be any kind of grief. We all have pain, we all have scars, we all have challenges, we all have hardships, but our resilience is limitless, right? Our resilience is our brilliance. And I'm going to talk to you guys and share a little bit about my story because I believe, like God, we are creators, right? We are creating our lives. We're co-creating with God. And God created us on purpose for a purpose. And my purpose is to really share my story today with you very vulnerably because I need a lot of women, not just single moms, because what I'm about to share with you is not just my journey of being a single mother. It's about my journey of learning how to love myself, learning how to respect myself, gaining confidence, gaining self worth, right? All of it is what I thought was life happening to me as a result of my divorce was actually life happening for me and through me. My story is not my fortress, it's my fuel. And if you choose to look at it that way, you can not only be happy for yourself, but you're changing a whole lot of lives. So to share a little bit about my story, I I'll go a little bit back. My marriage was arranged, and at that time when my marriage was arranged, I was an NYU college graduate, and I had studied marketing and finance, and I loved the city. I had a job in the city that was in marketing, and that's currently what I do for a living. I represent a health and wellness company called Fit Team. And I share healthy organic products that are absolutely delicious, but not just that. They're simple to use, they're affordable, they're convenient, and they just make me feel like $1 million every day. So, when I graduated college, I had worked for a company, and then my children's father, our marriage was arranged, and I said yes to my future. I'm sitting down for 4 hours and saying yes to my life. And um, back then I didn't know what intuition was. I didn't embark on this personal development journey, so I didn't really know. I was young. I was 24 years old. And I said yes to my future, packed my bags. I moved to Dubai, which is literally on the other side of the world. And I um I was away from family. I was away from my whole entire family. I had no family there. And I had my daughter, and then I was actually absolutely obsessed with her because she was my first. I treated her like a living doll. Would play dress up all the time, and then it was my son, and my ex-husband wanted a divorce. It didn't work out, and at first I was just like, oh my god, like divorces don't really happen in our culture. And I was really scared. I was I was like, I have a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. What do I do now, right? And I packed my bags and moved back to New York. And I was living with my parents out of suitcases for about 3 years, and it was it wasn't for 3 weeks, it wasn't for 3 months, it was for 3 years. So it was a lot of it was a lot of years. And my siblings lived in the house, so we were stepping over each other's toes, and I needed my independence. And that's when I was like, I'm gonna move. And I moved to an apartment. And what you were saying, gratitude, right? Your son, you were saying like you should bring a piece of paper, or a book. Let's write down what we're grateful for. So I don't know how old your son is, but my daughter was 7 at the time. No, she was 10 at the time, I'm sorry. And my son was about 5. And she used to always complain. She used to be like, "Why are we living in this small apartment, Mom? Why did you take us out of the apartment, like out of our grandma's house? And all of our cousins like live in mansions, and we were accustomed to a certain lifestyle in Dubai. I had a live-in nanny and a maid, and she was treated like a princess, and we had that kind of lifestyle. And we were living in my parents' house, so it was difficult. And so I taught my kids gratitude. I created a gratitude jar. So for the month of Thanksgiving, if you're tuning into this, if you have small kids, you can start a gratitude jar where I would list down every single day. I'd do it for myself, and then I'd make one for my son, make one for my daughter. Yusuf, Sophia, 10 things today I am grateful for, and they would jot it down. And at first, it was hard because you're getting them ready for school, you're getting them ready, their lunch is ready, their breakfast ready, and you're creating this jar, and they have to fill out the jar before they go to school, because how you start your day is how you end. I always like to start off with gratitude, right? So they would do it before school, and they were complaining all the time, Mom, what, mother, first it was meditation, now you're doing this gratitude jar, what is this? And they would complain. And I remember one weekend we went to my sister's house in Connecticut, and we didn't do the gratitude jar. And that's when she was like, "Oh, Mom, we didn't do the gratitude jar." And I'm just like, "Oh," right? So you see, what we do on a daily basis, our children pick up on that, and it becomes whatever we do becomes our habit. Then they pick up, it's whatever they do, it becomes what they do. And believe it or not, the kids are like sponges. My daughter like had ears behind her head. I would listen to morning motivation every day. Les Brown, Celine Dion would be the alarm clock. Her songs would be like a new day has come, because a new day has come. I used to like, it'd be like the sun is shining, right? And I used to be like, let the rain wash away your tears. And I used to never think I'd see the sun shining again, to be honest with you. And nowadays I listen to that song still every day, every morning,
Not
because
like my
it's how
best
I
song.
start the day. But at the same time, I no longer let rainy days get to me, where the weather used to affect my mood. Nowadays I say, forget the sun shining, or forget when it's raining. I get to create the sunshine. You get to create the sunshine. Heck, we are the sunshine, right? It's just that we forget. Like how I said in the beginning, we're born as diamonds, and then life happens to us, right? We go to middle school, we get bullied, or our parents get divorced, or I don't know, something happens to you in your childhood, whatever that must have been with you. You grow up to the age that you are, not knowing that everything that you are today stemmed from that childhood. If you grew up being bullied, if you lost your friends, then you're constantly going to grow up as an adult people pleasing people or thinking something's wrong with you. And I didn't know all of this till my divorce, till I started. I had to embark on a personal development journey, self mastery, where I started to listen to Les Brown. I started to listen to music, right? All the music that would lift me up, like Celine Dion, like I said to you. I remember asking my kids, like, let's go to Celine Dion's concert. And at first they were like, hell no, mom. And then we go there and they're singing the songs with me, blasting. One day I walked past the bathroom. My son is in the shower. He's singing My Heart Will Go On. And I'm like, oh my God. This is like this is like incredible, right?
Yeah.
So I remember moving out of the apartment into a smaller apartment, and my daughter was like, "Mom, I'm gonna miss this apartment." Before she was saying, "Why'd you take us out of our grandma's house?" And now we're going from one apartment to a smaller one. And she's like, "I'm gonna miss this apartment. It became my home." You see? So as mothers that are going through a divorce, especially if you're in a Muslim culture where divorces don't really happen, and you're just like, oh my God, like, I'm gonna die. Who am I without this institution, without this piece of paper? At least that's what I thought. At first, I was okay with it. Then I'm like living here. My life was on hold. I couldn't work for 4 years because my lawyer told me not to work because it was going to affect my alimony. So here I am. My kids go to school. All I did was yo-yo between the past and the future, blaming myself, shaming myself, looking for things that were my fault when in reality nothing was my fault. Or, it just didn't work out. There were two different people that drifted apart, and that's where a lot of people get divorced, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But at that time, when you think you're going through the darkest days of your life, where you think you can't go on any longer and you think you're just going to die, and just get me out of here. That was like my thing, right? Or my parents used to say, don't cry in front of your kids, they shouldn't see you sad. And I'm just like, but why? Why should I hide my tears? So that's telling my children. I remember I used to pray, and my son used to come in my room and be like, Mom, I used to wipe away the tears, right? Or if I would look in my eyes and I'm doing my mirror work, where I started to do mirror work. The first time I cried when I said I love you, Suraia, like I had to do these things to lift myself up and to start loving myself, because I was just not who I am today. And I used to cry. And sometimes my kid would come in there, or I would put affirmation stickers around the walls of my apartment. And if anybody would come to visit to fix something like a toilet or anything, I would take them away because I'd be embarrassed or whatnot. Or if my kids saw me doing mirror work, I would be embarrassed. Or if they saw me crying, I would be like wiping away the tears, not allowing me to be me, because it's not okay to not be okay. You get it? Or and do these kind of practices.
Yeah.
And in reality,
It is okay to not be okay.
in reality, everybody should be doing these things.
Yeah.
These are amazing things, because no matter what, life is going to continuously happen. Les Brown says you're always going to be finishing a problem in the middle of a problem, and the next one is already setting itself up for you. So you have to be that person who continuously works on your mindset, because life is going to continuously like knock you between your eyes, curveballs thrown at you left and right. And if I didn't undergo this, or if anybody who's a human being, you're gonna have challenges, you're gonna have roadblocks, like you're going to have detours, right? And you need to be that person that no matter what happens to me, I'm going to take control of my life. Because like I said, we're co-creating our lives with God. You're like the star of your own movie. I'm the star of my own movie. You get to choose every single day. Nobody is going to save you. Nobody, like, I remember, which I will get into, but life is really 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. And I didn't know all this. And I stressed myself out like crazy throughout my divorce. So people used to, my childhood friends used to say, move on. You know, he moved on. He got remarried. He had a kid. And my life is on hold. I can't work. I am an NYU college graduate with a marketing and finance degree. I go to Dubai, and then like I didn't know why. I didn't think one day he will decide to divorce me. So I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna work with him. And he had came from wealthy family, so I just did that, right? And I have no family, and I just didn't know one day he would want a divorce. I wasn't prepared for that. And then I come to New York, he wants the divorce, so I can't work. NYU is 1998. I graduate, and this is 2012. By
Wow.
the time my divorce finished, it was 2017, and I had this. So growing up, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism at the age of 17. And my whole entire life, I've had to work out when I got diagnosed with that because I had a lot of inflammation. I gained like 20 pounds out of nowhere, and I was always thin. And I grew up with thin cousins and tall, thin sisters. So that took its toll on me. And now then I start to diet, and I just did not know why I was so living at gym like 3 hours a day, working out 6, 7 days a week. I literally would climb out of my window, climb down the roof to go to the gym on a snowy day when my mother would say, don't leave the house. It's snowing today. And I'll just be like, I need to get to the gym. I'm like, she would always see what's outside of the neighborhood. She wouldn't, you can't see the road, the big roads, right? So she'd be like, I'll be like, okay, just stop my life because it's snowing. But that's how obsessed I was with my body and going to the gym and working out because I was the queen of inflammation. I could not lose a pound unless I was living on vegetables, protein, and fruit. And it was this, I did not know. I didn't know. Why are you so obsessed with your body and your looks? And I remember every time um, I would leave Dubai and I would come to New York for the weddings and parties. This is when I was still married to my ex-husband. I'd go on this New York diet where like I would cut out all my favorite foods like pizza and carrot cake and ice cream and all of that because I want to look good. I want to look good for the summer weddings and all of that. And it was just like this cycle, and it was never a specific diet, yo-yo dieting I call it. No keto, no Weight Watchers, no Paleo Atkins, but just restricting myself when I wanted to look good as for certain events, and then afterwards just eating what I wanted to. And I didn't know till my divorce, whereas my whole life I've had to work out. Now fitness becomes a passion because I started to go to another gym when I was still married to my ex-husband, and he was like, "Why don't you go to Equinox?" So I was like, "Okay." Why? Because I go to Gold's Gym, and this is my comfort. That's my comfort zone, right? So
Mhm.
this is what I want to talk about, like how life begins at the end of your comfort zone, and like nothing great comes out of comfort zones. So I go continuously drive 25 minutes to go to the gym that I grew up in, and because that's the gym that I know everybody, right? I've been going there since I'm 17, but there's a gym 3 minutes, 5 minutes away from my the home that I'm living in when I'm in New York, right? So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll try it. So one day I try it, and there's this instructor. She's so badass. It was like in the studio, and every single class of hers for that summer, I had just had given birth to my son. I go and I'm like the in front. I'm not a person who goes to the back of the room. I'm in front next to her. And this lady inspired the heck out of me. Whereas every class of hers, I was right next to her every day. And my body became sick, Ruth, overnight, like changed because I did something different. My whole life, I've worked out. I didn't know how to work out. I was just walking on the treadmill, dumbbells, different arm exercises with dumbbells, And all of a sudden, my body changed and it was doing something different, which is life begins at the end of your comfort zone
Yeah,
until I embarked on this journey of self mastery. I didn't know what the heck that meant. What does that mean? And it actually means like if you want different, you got to do different.
that's it.
And you can't let fear get to you. You see, the thing is, we are scared of different, the same way I was scared of my divorce. I was scared of being alone. I was scared, and I had every right to be, right. I wasn't prepared for that, and I had two young kids, a 2-year old and a 7-year old, and I had every right to be. However, life begins at the end of your comfort zone is so true for me, because I became the person that I am today as a result of all of that discomfort, all of that pain. Like every time I would pick myself up, it would be like, oh, dad's getting remarried, dad's having a kid, and I would go back down, right? And I was a mess, and I constantly used to say, "Hey, I just worked so hard to get to where I am today. I've been doing the meditation." So to tell you a little bit about meditation, and I started going to retreats. I thought life was just like I only had a story, right? And I start going to this retreat, and these women share their stories. My roommate was raped when she was 13 years old. She never let a man touch her after that. And at that retreat, at that event, she said, "If I find a man at this time," she was like 60 years old, "I'll get married." She got healed. See, or another lady was there. She was grieving her daughter, right? It was just like I opened my mouth and I started sharing my story, and I heard other women's stories. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm not the only one getting a divorce. I'm not the only one going through pain. I'm not the only one with the hardships, right? That's the beauty of learning to work on yourself and getting help and healing, because when you heal and you share your stories, you just like literally like, oh, I'm not alone, right? I'm not the only one. And that's when I started to say, whoa, okay, there are a lot of women who are getting divorced, maybe not in my community, but everybody has a story.
Hmm.
I remember the first day of school, my son, we moved to the apartment complex, and my son and his and our neighbor's daughter were the same age, and I met her for the very first time at the bus stop. And those were the early days of my divorce, and I was a mess. I was Those were the days where I was crying in the morning, right? And I didn't have a meditation practice at the time. And I met her, and she said her name, and she's like, "Hello, I'm Boozy." And I'm like, I don't want her to see that I'm tearing. I was embarrassed to share my story. I was embarrassed to show my emotions. And she said it again. And then that's when I said, "Hi, I'm Suraia. I'm just I apologized for feeling the way I was. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm just having a bad morning. I'm Suraia, Yusuf's mom." So we put the kids on the bus, and the rest is history. I share my story with her. And I remember 2 years later, when I was going for my first day of my yoga certification, because I'm also a yoga and meditation teacher. At that retreat that I had gone to, there was a meditation teacher who, um, one of my friends that I made during that retreat started to take her online meditation, and she's like, "Whoa, you should do this, Suraia." We kept in touch. It's changing my life. I'm more patient. I'm getting along better with my mom. I'm not as stressed. And I'm just like, okay. So I do the meditation, start doing the meditation practice twice a day, meditating. And didn't matter where we were, Cheesecake Factory, if we were standing on, waiting for my car to get serviced, I'd be meditating in front of people. My kids would be like, as if you weren't crazy enough with the gratitude jar. Now it's the meditation. Oh, like, come on, can you get any weirder? But I had to do these things for myself. Meditation, literally, Ruth, changed my life, because I woke up with the to-do list. Like, I hear parents saying, "I don't have time to work out." And I'm like, "Really?" you get up at 4 a.m., you work out, you put your exercise clothes rocking to your bathroom on the floor. So you step on it and you make sure you put those on. There is no excuses. 10 push ups, 10 sit ups, 10 squats, 10 jumping jacks, 10 second plank, right? 10 bicycle kicks, and there you go, a minute workout, and you haven't even brushed your teeth. So there's no excuses for you don't to not have time. And for me, for you to say that as a mother who has also a spouse in the house doing, co-parenting, then I should say I don't have enough time. And I didn't have enough time. I used to say that prior to meditating, prior to the things that I'm doing that I had to do to heal myself and be this woman that I am today. I had to start meditating. And even when I didn't want to, I'm in Cheesecake Factory. We're waiting for our order, and I'm meditating. And it's like, I didn't care what my kids thought. I knew I had to do these things in order for me to heal and my kids to get the best version of me. Especially being the primary caretaker, I needed to have my shit together. Excuse my language. And because then the ripple effect of who I am is what my kids get. And even on it till this day, if I wake up and I haven't done my morning meditation, I'm like, you don't talk to me, because don't interrupt me when I'm meditating, because they know that's going to benefit them because it's helping me, right? So the meditation, I used to wake up with this to-do list. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Or I used to yo-yo between the past and the future. I used to tell you, right? I told you before. And meditation is the pathway to inner liberation, inner alignment, inner peace. It's the pause between our thinking and our thoughts, because we get all these thoughts throughout the day and we think like, holy cow, 70,000 thoughts a day. All of this is true, the bad and the good. But in reality, it's not true. You get to choose if you're going to jump on the train of thoughts or you're going to let them pass like clouds on a sunny day. Right? They're going to pass. The sun does shine after every storm. So meditation really, really is the key to happiness, awareness, presence, being in the moment, rather than saying, my past, and I used to blame, and I used to shame, and I used to resent, and I got angry, and my health started deteriorating, which I will get into that. And looking into my future, oh my God, who's going to want to be with me? I have two kids. What am I gonna do? What's my life gonna be? He moved on, and my life was just, I was just lost. I was just like, well, what's gonna happen? So meditation really, really was the game changer for me, because praying, I used to pray I used to pray and be like, God, with my family picture, the four of us, I'd be like, God, bring my family back together. And I tried to save my marriage. He wanted the divorce, and I find this boot camp program on Facebook that just comes up on my Facebook feed one day, and I was like, this is meant to be. Because like I said, I was scared of being by myself, and at the same time, I just wanted what everyone else had. I wanted what my sisters had. I wanted what my cousins had and the girls that I grew up with. I just wanted to be taken care of, right? That same lifestyle. So I do this marriage boot camp program where I have to communicate every day. And the more I did, the more he ran away. And my daughter was really smart at the time. She was 7, and she's like, Mom, maybe if you stop chasing dad, he'll come back to you. And
Yes.
I kind of felt like after when he didn't want it, I feel like I failed. But I wanted to sleep with a clear conscience every day, saying, like, if my kids one day said, if dad wanted a divorce, why didn't you do something to try to save it? And I afterwards I was kind of like, oh my God, I was like disrespected myself. Why did I want to be with somebody who didn't want to be with me? I'm nobody's second choice. I'm nobody's doormat, right? Especially being the woman that I am today. I'm actually thanking him for leaving me. I would be the Titanic if I were still, with him. I respect him. He's the father of my children, and we have a great relationship that way. But um I'm nobody's doormat. I'm nobody's, like, I don't need to be with somebody who doesn't want me, right? So I think a lot of women actually in not just in um Muslim community or Afghan, like we are living in unhappy marriages. They're just scared of change. They're scared to leave, and or even in abusive relationships, right? I was never in an abusive marriage, but um it was, I don't even think I was happy, to be honest. I just didn't think I had a choice to leave. We're related through marriages. We have two kids, 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. I live far away from my family. How do I even, it was just never crossed my mind. And then when he decided to do it, it just killed me. Because here I am, I sacrificed my career, I sacrificed my NYU. I have an NYU college graduate, which 20 years later, who's going to accept that, right? In 2017, 18, where I'm given the green light to work now, who's going to accept that? Right?
Course.
And I remember prayer, it didn't, that's when my belief went more towards meditating, whereas Muslims, you're supposed to pray 5 times a day. I used to pray all the time in the morning, and actually on time at 5 a.m., not like later on when I woke up. We have to pray 5 times a day. And i didn't I didn't receive from God, right? So I kind of like, it's not like I didn't believe in God anymore. I just found meditation, and that made me present. That made me stop going from the past and into the future all the time. And it was just being less stressed, right? Being in the moment. COVID taught us that we can't plan our futures, right? So the present moment, the here and the now, is the only moment that's guaranteed. And that's what meditation does for you and did for me. And I teach it now, actually, yoga and meditation classes. And I do outdoor classes. That's when I first started teaching, I was doing the outdoor classes. And now, I'm happy to say, starting Sunday, I'm going to be doing indoor classes, and doing, because I like that in-person connection. I like to have my students in front of me. It's like before class and after class, they're like a you can see they're like a completely different person. And I love that. I never did Zoom classes. I never did that when COVID started. That's when I started teaching, and it was like my classes are like, I like to call it heaven on earth, because it's like that, with nature surrounding and the birds chirping and the sun hitting your face when you're doing like heart opening poses. It's just absolutely delicious. It just feels amazing. So to go back to that story, I feel like I'm kind of like all over this place, but my neighbor, I remember the first day of yoga certification, she's knocking on my door. Suraia, Suraia, Suraia. I'm like, what do you want? She's like, you have to help our neighbor. What? Like, her husband is leaving her. She has 3 young kids, and she's exactly the way I met you the first day. You really have to like talk to her, please. And I knew that lady needed me, and I went late to my certification because I knew I can be that beacon of light for her right now. And I went to her and I said, listen, you're gonna be okay. Mark my words. Listen to me. And I gave her a hug. You're gonna be okay. I was you years ago. And you're gonna be okay. You're gonna actually be in a better place. You can't see it right now because you think your world is crashing. You think you're never gonna live. You don't want to live. You just like, you know what I mean? How can I do this alone? But you're gonna be okay. So basically, I was there for her. And then recently, about 2 years ago, I remember my neighbor reaching out to me, saying, the one that I actually met at the bus stop, getting a divorce. And my light, and where I am today, she came to one of my home parties for the company that I represent, the Fit Team parties. I have them weekly. And she was just like, whoa, girl, you make me, I am crying and smiling at the same time. And she was shedding tears as I was sharing my story. But look at you. I'm so proud of you. And I became her light in the face of her divorce. So,
Hmm.
do you see? This is the ripple effect of sharing your story, healing yourself. Because when you heal yourself, you're healing the world. You're not just healing your kids, you're healing the world. And more people need to understand, um, everybody in this world needs to understand that self love is the greatest love. Like, they don't teach you that in school. They teach you in chemistry, they teach you molecules, they teach you history, they teach you all these things, they teach you Shakespeare. They don't they don't teach you self-love. That is the greatest love. And that's why my desire is to be in schools, in universities, in elementary schools, teaching these kids from an early age that you need to love yourself. Because if the whole world was loving themselves, right? If I loved myself, I would not attempt to do a marriage boot camp program. I would say, okay, yeah, I'm devastated by the divorce, but I'll find someone and I'll heal. But I was scared. I wasn't loving myself. I was loving the idea of being with someone and taken care of and having that piece of paper, that institution, just and being just like everybody else, because that's what we want. Everybody in this world just wants to be loved. We want other people to love us. We want other people to like us. We want other people to validate us. That's why, from the minute we wake up, which I used to do myself before I started on this journey, I would grab my phone. I would look through my Facebook feed, 30 minutes sitting there, sometimes an hour after I sent the kids to school back in the early days. And we're scrolling through other people's lives, watching what other people do, watching the news, looking at the emails, looking at for the text message that you want to receive for the man or whoever, business partner, and you're accumulating stress from the minute you wake up. You're connecting with the outer world instead of connecting with yourself, because we're too scared to connect to ourselves. We don't we're This is what we're used to, right? We want connection. We want other people to validate us. We want other people to cheer for us. But when you love yourself, you're not going to be looking for that. And when you love yourself, you will not want to hurt another person. You will not um, talk badly about another person, right? If the whole world loved themselves, there would be no crime, there would be no rape, there would be no racism, there would be no wars, there would be no killing of innocent children, blowing up schools, right? These innocent little children who have their whole future ahead of them, that none of that would exist because everyone is loving themselves. Why would you want to hurt anybody? Did you ever think of that? That's why my mission is not just to talk, not just towards single moms, but schools, universities, teaching these kids from a young age that you need to love yourself, because that's the only way. The keys to success, I've learned it. The keys to success in life is to love yourself, to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? If you don't cheer for yourself every single day, whereas before I used to look into my eyes and used to say, I used to cry the first time I did it and say, I love you. Nowadays, I'm looking at myself and I say, Suraia, I love you. I do it every day. I look into my eyes. I love you. I really love you. And then I say, today, I will only speak loving words. I will only think loving thoughts. I will only feel loving emotions. And then I say, I am unstoppable. I am unbreakable. I am undefeatable. And I love who I am. And I high five myself and I say, whose life can I change today? And I make sure I touch my hand. And the first time I did this, this is the Mel Robbins high five habit. My son, the first time I did it, I'm like, record me, because I was doing the challenge, and he's laughing at me. He's like, what? Another practice, mom? You're getting more weirder. And I literally do it every day, because every day life is going to continuously knock you between your eyes, and you got to be that person that gets your ass out of bed on days when you don't feel like it. You get in front of the mirror, you hate the way your hair looks as a woman, or you have like the acne or whatever it is, you got to high five yourself. You feel fat, just be grateful the fact that you have a stomach, that you carried your baby in there. Like, most moms can't have children, we're sitting here complaining about our stomachs. These are all things that I learned on this journey, and had I not gone through this divorce, I would have never learned, and I would never be sitting here talking to you right now,
Hmm.
right? So high five yourself. Whose life could I change today? Because Les Brown says your gift is your gift from me, from God, right? From God. It says, my your gift of life is my gift from you. from me. What do you do with your life is your gift to the world, to me, right? Like, you're not only living in this world for yourself, right? I want to leave a legacy not only for my kids. I don't want people to remember me by my pretty face or my nice body or the lady who taught yoga and meditation or did fitness videos to empower women. I'm the woman who changed lives, single moms' lives. And at the same time, young kids. I taught you how to love yourself. I taught you things that I did to get myself out of wanting being on my knees, literally, where it's like, God, please take me. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, help me to where I am today, where it's like sometimes I even just like I can't believe it's real because it's been quite a journey. Anyhow, so this is the beauty of sharing your story because finally I'm telling you like where my health started deteriorating because people used to say move on and I you can't tell a woman to move on if you haven't walked her shoes, right? I can tell a divorced woman, I can I can relate to you. We all have different paths, but I will never know exactly what she's been through, and you won't exactly know what. But we're going through the same similar kind of journey. And my friend used to say, "Move on," and I didn't want to move on, and that's how I developed hearing loss in my right ear.
Hmm.
So I have hearing loss in my right ear because hearing loss is caused upon what you don't want to hear. So I developed hearing loss, and then I remember when I was signing my divorce papers, I was so full of resent and anger because my life is on hold for 4 years. I can't work, and he moved on, and I lose my energy as a result of the stress. I developed a sound in my ear, which is tinnitus, which I've taught my brain to ignore for 5 years, and um, I remember Googling this and people were like, whoa, I was like, what is this? And people were like, would rather kill ourselves. Like, oh my God, this is worse than depression. And one person taught them, they said they taught their brain to ignore it. And I did that for 5 years.
Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, I literally, um, I literally got myself out of that by teaching my brain to ignore it for 5 years. And nobody would think that. I'm sharing this with you guys because despite every single thing that I've been through, the person that's standing here is able to share her story and be that beacon of light for you and for so many others. You know, that's why I share it. Not for somebody to pity me or to say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for you." No, it's about, look, you could be the most beautiful person in the world. You can have all the riches in the world. You can have diamonds and the Bentleys and the perfect partner. But if you don't feel good about yourself and you don't have your health, which is your greatest wealth, which I took for granted because all my life I've had to work out. Now I want to start teaching classes. I get certified 2 times to teach group fitness classes, and I have to get recertified because my divorce is not over yet. So I get certified again, and then I run out of my energy, which I told you I started taking that woman's classes and I start applying whatever she did in the gyms in Dubai, and people were like, "Oh my God, are you a trainer? What you're doing is so impressive." So I have like all this energy, and I used to take 2 of her classes back to back. I'd still have energy for a third one, and it would be Ramadan, and everybody would be like, "How do you not drink and not eat and still have this kind of energy?" So I had that kind of energy, and now I no longer have that energy for 5 minutes. I developed what's all that the back. I developed candida. I developed gut issues. I developed food intolerances towards foods that I've had my whole entire life. All of a sudden, I'm allergic to them.
Hmm.
And the last diet that I went on was for 5 months. Functional doctor put me on a diet of vegetables and protein. I can't even have fruit, and I love sweets. I have the biggest sweet tooth. And all of a sudden, I'm my daughter used to say, "Why are you always eating separate foods, mom?" Because I had to go on this diet to bring the candida level down because I had bacteria in my gut. And I went to a retreat and a girl was like, "Diets never end." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so true. That's been me." Like, I've always been on like some kind of like watching my weight, yo-yo dieting. And then I remember this girl on Facebook, she had this program called Done with Dieting, and it popped on, and I needed to see that because it was like she was like, "I've been dieting my whole life." And I was kind of like, I've never done a specific diet, but I have been on a diet. That's when I realized, why was I always so obsessed with my body? Because it stemmed from when I was 17 years old and I got diagnosed with the hypothyroid, and I gained all that weight where I was thin, just like everyone else, that my sisters and my girls that I grew up with. And it wasn't my fault, but I spent so much of my like life concentrating on my looks, where it's now like I don't have energy to perform my workouts. I want to start running marathons. I'm a track runner all my life. I'm like a tomboy growing up. I've always been into sports, full of energy, like beast mode. You would work out. If you went to the gym that I went to, I was the biggest bitch. I would never talk to anyone. I was in my zone, and I had this explosive energy that was like people would stop me and say, "What are you on?" And then it all vanished from the stress, from the tinnitus, the candida, the gut issues. And that's when I said, that's it. This girl said, done with dieting in her program. She used to say she used to eat right after a bikini show. She was on the cover of magazines, but binge eat the next day. Literally, that's not living. And I didn't want to live like that anymore either, right? I needed a lifestyle change, and I also needed to stop dieting because it doesn't end. The word diet means deprivation, guys. Ladies that are watching, even men, they're so obsessed with their bodies nowadays. It's deprivation. They don't end. You need to make it a healthy way of living, which is what Fit Team, the company that I represent, that I was calling into my life. I'm like, I used to journal back in those days where this happened to me. And I remember also at that time when I finally got the green light to work, I lost the passion for teaching classes. I had no energy. I'm like, what? I can't even do a hit workout, a high intensity workout for 5 minutes. How am I going to be a beacon of like inspiration for all these students? I lost my passion, where my passion was teaching classes and I wanted to do that, but I lost my energy. So I didn't think one day I'm gonna lose my energy. Like, what does that mean? And it killed my passion for fitness. And until Fit Team came along, and I had tried this other company prior to Fit Team, but the products were not organic. They gave me a lot of gas. I was lactose intolerant. Believe it or not, me and my son are lactose intolerant. There'd be a lot of smell in the home with those products. And I never got my explosive energy back that I've gotten with Fit Team's products. Like, I literally lost 5 pounds without going into a gym in 10 days. And the lady who introduced me to Fit Team was like, "Hey, you're already a person who's into personal development and motivation, right? You listen to daily motivation. Our company offers motivational calls every day, 6 days a week. You can jump on." And it wasn't just about Fit Team. I said, "Oh, okay." She's like, "You're already a yoga teacher." I was like, yeah, I'm already changing bodies, mind, body, soul, right? Like, this fits in great with me because it's a health and wellness company. Everything is organic. I'm taking the supplements. I literally lost 5 pounds in 10 days without stepping foot into a gym, 15 pounds in 1 month. And that would never happen unless I was living on fruits, vegetable, and protein. I lost my sugar cravings. I remember Starbucks between 6 and 7 5 to 7 p.m. I would go through Starbucks drive-through and I'd say white chocolate mocha. Everybody knew my order, right? In the towns surrounding my home. "Oh, you want almond milk? You don't want whipped cream? Extra whip, put in a Splenda too." I had the biggest sweet tooth, and it was like $215 a month. It was like a habit that was not good. And it wasn't until my daughter said, you need, like, I want to have these TikTok drinks, and I'd be like, oh God, these Starbucks people, they're posting all of these drinks, and now my daughter wants them. You can't have it. Why can you? I'm the mother, I'm the driver. I need to stay awake because I will be talking to you at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night and passing out. So this product nowadays, you take it twice a day, 30 minutes before your breakfast and 30 minutes before your lunch. So it's a stick. I call it happiness in a stick because it really, really makes you feel super duper happy. I feel like $1,000,000 every single day. And I'm like a walking advertisement for Fit Team. I have the weight loss testimonial, 25 pounds I lost total. And I never thought I would do that without a diet and over exercising. I go to the gym like 3 days a week. Yesterday I went to my doctor. He's like, what are you doing? Like, you used to do a lot of cardio, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're not doing it nowadays and you look great. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing great. So that's the thing. Fit Team's products also got me off of my antidepressants, which I was taking for the tinnitus for years. I was on antidepressants. So that's the beauty of all these products. They're all organic and natural. Ingredients like ashwagandha, turmeric. I used to buy B12 droppers and put it under my tongue. And now I have the B12, the turmeric. You don't even taste turmeric, which is amazing for inflammation. I was the queen of inflammation. Um, Ashwagandha. Every single person that I talk to about Fit Team takes ashwagandha. If I go hold booths at gyms, they have it in their bag, or I take the pills, I take the powder. You're spending $50 on a pill bottle when it's a little stick. It makes you feel happy. And my brother-in-law always like teases me when I say that to people. He's like, you gotta watch out when you say that to people, because it's like happiness in a stick. You get it? It's like a little stick, and you could put it in your pocket. You could put it, so convenient. And I just say that because I take my thyroid medicine first thing in the morning, and then I wait 30 minutes. Sometimes I cannot even wait that 30 minutes to slam down my first one, because that's how delicious it is and that's how great I feel every day. And feeling good is our birthright, and we forget that it's all about how you feel rather than how you look, which I've made it for so many years of my life, which I used to shame myself after I found out that I've been yo dieting for 2 decades of my life, but it's not my fault. I didn't know. And this is why I share my story today with you and all of your followers and my followers, for you to understand that your health is your greatest wealth. And feeling good is the most important thing in your life. It raises your vibration. You return to that diamond that you already are, that you were born to shine your light, but you forgot because society took over, cultural conditioning took over. Society told you who you should be. I remember all the time my mom used to say, what are people going to think? What are people going to think? And I grew up caring what people thought of me because as a Muslim girl, we have a reputation that we have to maintain, right? And I was always that good little girl, pleasing, people pleasing, wanting to make happy, mommy happy or daddy happy. And it's like you can't step outside of the box. You can't be who you want to be because you just want everyone to like you, and you just have to be that good girl. But I'm here to tell everyone, you need to be yourself. You need to do the things that light you up every single day. You need to be you, do you, for you, because at the end of the day, it's you against you. You are the person that is going to drag your ass, excuse my language, out of bed every morning. I remember there were days where I could not get out of bed, where my parents would used to say, get out of bed. They weren't going to ultimately drag me out of the bed, right? It was me that needs to walk out of the bed. You're going to go to the gym. Your trainer is going to give you your workout regimen. He'll train you for like a couple of weeks, and then you're on your own. Or even when you're at the gym, you got to do the push ups. You have to do the push up if you want your body to change. You have to fill the prescription that the doctor gives you. Otherwise, and then take it. Otherwise, you will not heal. So that it's you are the star of your own movie. You are the director. You're playing the main character in your movie, and life is going to take over. It's a constant shit show. You got to be that person that wants. Do you want your life? You have to say, do I want my life to be a blockbuster hit smash or to flop, because you're co-creating it with God. And I didn't know all this stuff. I was in victim mentality. Life is happening to me. Whereas in reality, everything happens for you. Nowadays, I'm praying and I'm off of medication because God told me, get off of your meds. I used to think it's not okay to be not okay. Not okay to let my kids see me crying. It's okay, and I used to say, like, I don't want to be here. But in reality, what was I teaching my kids? Don't cry in front of your kids, they used to say. Really? They always have to have their shit together? You're not allowed to feel your pain? You're not see, this is what we do. We tuck our feelings under the carpet, and they're always going to resurface until you're ready. They're just going to keep coming. God's going to give you the same problems, test you the same, give you the same tests and the same challenges until you start feeling your feelings, and that's healing. I used to have a Facebook group called Feeling to Healing, because you need to feel in order to heal. Tucking under the carpet, never feeling them, it's just going to come back. And we're living our life scared of doing the things that we know that we need to do to be that person that we have to be. Like, we're scared. The more you run away from your pain, the more you are scared. I remember, like, this is a great story. I used to be scared of dogs. I used to be so scared of dogs, especially the big ones. If I went to somebody's house and there was a dog, I'd be like, you got to lock it up in another room. And I remember, if I ever saw a dog on the street, and if the dog was like, I'd start running, the dog would be running after me. The faster I ran, the faster the dog ran after me. This is the same thing in your life with your feelings, guys. The more you run away from pain and fear, the more the pain is going to come. You need to say, you need to beat fear. You need to do whatever it is that you want to do, and you do it scared. You need to say, I can, I will, I must. And every single morning I say, I can, I will, I must. And literally, it's like, the more you repeat these affirmations, hey, I am worthy. Hey, now any man that is with me is going to be the luckiest man in the world, because I used to say there was something is wrong with me, that I'm on medication. I'm off of meds now, but I used to say, well, who's going to want to be with me, right? And this is the put together person that you see that has all these followers on Instagram, all these followers on Facebook, and everyone thinks, like, wow, she's super duper confident. She has all her shit together, but I'm sharing very vulnerably for you to see, just like you, I'm human. Just like you, I have a story. Just like you, I've been down on my knees, where everyone one day will be down on their knees. Because imagine this, you always had a happy life. You always had all your shit together. How would you grow as a person, right? Wisdom, life circumstances, every single challenge that you've been through, your journey brought you to who you are today. It's all about the journey. When you make it about the destination, oh, when am I going to get the husband? This is what used to be me. Now I'm dating myself. I'm taking myself out. If you want to buy me my dinner, buy me my dinner. I'm going to take myself out. You want to buy me a drink? Buy me a drink. I'm going to go dancing afterwards. Because you have to do you. You can't say, when is this going to happen? You know, this is a true story. And I'm going to say this to you because um, this is about, the podcast is from grieving to grace, right? So I used to say, this year I turned 48 years old. You know, I thought it would be like the first year where, like, my parents wouldn't think they had to take me out to dinner for my birthday. I thought I'd have a man in my life to take me out, right? And I was kind of sad and happy on my birthday, receiving messages. I was grateful and everything for receiving all these messages. However, there was part of me that was sad. And then one day I woke up and I said, you know what? My cousin is 32 years old. She lost her life last year. She is no longer here. She never had a man in her life. She never got to experience a marriage or having a child. And she was my very first fake customer. She was the one that believed in me. She was my ex's niece. She was my cousin. She was my kid's cousin. And I loved her dearly. She was always like, "You're going to make it so big. You're going to be so successful one day." And my uncle's going to be like, "Oh my God, what did I lose? What did I leave?" And she believed in me so much. And the other day, I was hiking and I was like thinking of her, and she was with me there. She was like, "Look at you nowadays." And I was like, she would be so proud if she were here today. But the thing is that I'm sitting here complaining, not complaining, wishing and wanting when she's no longer here. She never had any of that. And who would I rather be? Me or her? And that's what I think a lot of us need to understand, is that we're complaining and wanting and wishing. I'll be happy when I have the house, the diamonds, the Bentley, that CEO position, that promotion, whatever it is that you want. But you will never be happy until you're truly happy with whatever it is that you have right now in this moment. Everything you need is inside of you, but we're constantly looking for other people to give us the happiness. That title's not going to make you happy because you're feeling a void inside of you. And I realized that every single day, God wakes you up to a new day. Holy cow, you're good. You're breathing. You're good. I have my breath. I have my energy back. I am good. He's not done with you. You woke up to another 24 days. Be grateful. During this month of November, be grateful every
Grateful.
single day,
That's
because
right.
you have a life, you have breath, you have a body, you're in your body. You literally are living. Would you rather be the person that didn't open their eyes today? That's the way I look at life every single day nowadays. Rainy day? Heck, I'm the sunshine. I get to create my sunshine. I'm co creating with God. This is it. So these are all experiences that made me the result of my divorce, the painful divorce that I went through, that I thought I couldn't go on another day, where there were many days where I couldn't get out of bed, when I didn't want to go on any longer, and on days where I can't get out of bed and I can't show myself. I have to, because I have two little humans counting on me, right? I have to show up on days where I cannot show up. And being a single mom and being a sole custodial mom, where their father is in their lives but not always here, it was very difficult. And that's another reason why I don't have a person in my life right now, because I could not concentrate on the two of them. 2-year old and a 7-year old. I needed to first heal myself, because like attracts like. You are what you attract into your life is whatever you are. Don't look for the perfect person. Be the perfect person first. We have this checkbox as women. Oh, I want him to be tall. I want him to be, giving and kind and all of this, right? And have all his shit together. But do you have all your shit together? So this is really all the things, from the painful divorce that led me to the unstoppable force that I am today. And I truly feel comfortable in my own skin. Whereas, like, I've been talking to you for how long now? I want this message to come around, come reach the hearts of whoever is viewing this, that you are in control. You need to have a vision for your life. Like the same way when you sit in a car and your windshield wipers are not working and you can't see where you're going, you need to know where you're going, first of all. And I know where I'm going. I have dreams and I have goals. I never had dreams and goals before Fit Team. I never had dreams and goals. I didn't have this thing that I want to be a diamond executive with Fit Team, which is a rank. And I remember my parents used to stress me out, because at that time I used to get alimony, and they used to say, you need to do, you're not getting that anymore. You need to do something besides this Fit Team business. And I used to treat it like a hobby, and they used to pay me like a hobby. And all of a sudden, my son starts going to high school, my daughter starts going to college, all these changes, I started to get stressed out. And now I'm like hustling, and I don't see. The thing is, like I said, I have a Facebook group now called Diamond in the Making. What is that about? I already know that I'm a diamond. I was born as a diamond. You're a diamond. Whatever you went through in your life, you're still that diamond. You're still that rare, unique, one of a kind gem that was born when you came out of your mommy's stomach, and you just forgot that who you are. You're still that person because life took over. You your parents got divorced, you got bullied, and you went through a divorce yourself. I don't know, you're grieving somebody. Life happened. But in order for me to have birthed the woman that I am today, I had to die to every form of me that I have been. I had to go to places I've never been. And this is what you need to do. You got to go to places you've never been, do the things you've never done, say the things that you've never said to become the man or woman you've always known yourself to be, which is that rare, unique diamond. And Diamond in the Making, the group that I created in Facebook, is showing everyone who's part of my group that you need to return to your authentic self. Your authentic self, the journey of returning home to who it is that you were, that like rare diamond, while you're trying to reach that status, which is only a status, but you already know that you're a diamond, but you're a diamond in the making. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's about raising our vibrations, doing the things that light us up, returning to our unique, authentic selves, the essence of who it was that we were, to being whatever it is that you want, but believing that you already are that person, embodying that person, and knowing that that is your truth. You have, you're unique, you're one of a kind. You don't need to be anybody else. You don't need people to like you. You just need to return to that rare, precious diamond that you always were, but you bought onto all these programs. You're scared to step outside of the box. You're scared to leave your marriage because you're just scared. You're scared of reinventing yourself. You're scared of being who it is you are without wearing a mask, being vulnerable and sharing the deepest parts of yourself, which I just did. I literally cried in front of I don't know how many people, but it's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay
exactly.
to not be okay. It's
Yeah,
okay. And this necklace that I'm wearing, I don't know if you guys see it.
we can.
I bought it from a Pinterest site, and I also bought one for my daughter, which I'm gonna give her. It's it's a necklace that represents it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah,
That's what it's called. Yeah. It's okay to not be okay. You can give yourself permission to not be okay. It's okay to fall down on your knees because every single time you break down, the breakthrough is bigger, bigger than you can imagine. Every time I hit rock bottom, where I didn't think I could go on another day, oh my God, it's just like the breakthrough is bigger. Your setbacks are comebacks, setups for comebacks. And you will live the life of your dreams if you choose to believe in yourself. Live every single day with passion and enthusiasm, which is what I share in the Diamond in the Making, doing the things that light you up, that make you happy, that make you really, really live life. Practice gratitude, all the practices that I've learned, which is a lot. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox that I've developed all these years doing the crazy things that my kids told me that, what are you doing, mom? Well, I'm going to be sharing that in Diamond in the Making, and I'm going to be going live starting tomorrow, which is my specialty, is speaking. I didn't even know I used to be embarrassed to speak and open my mouth. And nowadays, you can't shut me up because it's what lights me up. It's what I look forward to every day, sharing my story, being that beacon of light for someone else's darkness. And really, our pain is the portal to our greatest transformation. And you can it doesn't have to define you. You can turn your pain into purpose and power, and you can empower others. You can give other people hope and optimism by sharing your story, letting them know that they're not alone. Hey, just like you. I'm a human. I may look put together. I may look like I have nothing going on and I have the most perfect life, but I've been to hell and back. But I look at it
You look awesome.
as literally me being me, and it's okay for me to
Yes.
have gone through that journey so I can return home to my authentic self, the person that I knew was born to shine her light. And I know I have a purpose that is bigger than myself, to help the world shine, because when I heal myself, I help heal others. So that's a little bit. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for letting me share.
No, it's been awesome. It's been an awesome experience sharing with you today because really I was touched and I got a lot of stuff written down because you really poured out your whole heart and I could feel all of it all right here. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing this journey with us. Your courage and your strength are truly inspiring, I tell you. So I'll just
Thank
want to
you.
say thank you. Thank you so much. I felt every bit of it all. And I can
Thank
see
you.
the transformation in all of it. I've seen how
Thank
far
you.
you've been transformed. Like I always tell people, I told someone the other day, I said, one day I'm going to definitely ch- bring out my before and my after photos. So people see me before grief, and people see me after grief, and people see me now, the now that I am in, because if each time I look at those photos, I'm like, oh, so there was a day I was like this. Sometimes it's good to, so now I take a lot of photos. Before I don't take pictures, I don't do photos, but now I do a lot. I like taking pictures most times because I have realized that it really helps me in my journey. It helps me in this journey that we are in.
It's
Thank
all about the journey, right?
Yeah,
It's all about the journey. If you're looking to the destination, you're missing out on the precious moment that you have in front of you, the present moment. And you can't get this moment back.
that
I
is it.
remember to just say to you, I missed out so much on my baby growing up, because that's when he was 2 years old and I was
Yeah.
under so much stress. I was in the turmoil of going to court. I was trying to get myself together, and it was hard. So I wasn't present. My body would physically be in front of him and my kids, but my mind
Yeah.
would be in stress, writing emails, going to court, just thinking about the future, thinking about the past. I was all over the place. I was never present. That's why meditation has become like the biggest game changer. That's why I started teaching it in my yoga classes. Having the students return to their breath, focus on their breath, ground themselves in the present moment using your five senses. That's something that you can do while you're walking or running. You
Mhm.
could be outside, you could be thinking of something
Thinking
that you
of
smell,
things.
hear,
Yeah.
taste, and that's returning you into the present moment. And a lot of therapists um teach their clients that too, because a lot of people, we all have anxiety.
Yeah.
Some people have it more than others, and these are like helpful tactics, meditation being the biggest game changer. You want to change your life, you want your life to improve, you need to meditate. You need to focus on your breath, and you need to sit in silence and be by yourself. Look at me. I spent 12 years of my life alone,
Hmm.
right? I've been on 10 dates maybe in 10 years. And I just started taking myself out this year because I was like, my daughter is like 19 years old. She's studying to become a nurse. My son is 14. He's tall. I can't even hug him. I have to beg them to watch movies with me nowadays. I'm like, can you like watch a movie with me? And they always fall asleep. And if it's in the evening, right? Especially if in the evening, and then I'm the only one awake. And I'm like, I need to start living my life a little now. The kids are
Yeah.
older. I need to start taking myself out. I need to start. I started going out with girlfriends, and then I met people there, and nowadays I'm like dating myself. If I don't have anyone to go out with, I'm like, I'm going out by myself. I don't
Because
need
they won't want to
anyone,
go out with you at this
because
stage.
because you have
Yeah,
to
you're right.
you need to spend time with yourself. I need to be happy with myself. You need to be happy with yourself if you're going to make someone else happy. You can't wait for that person to show up to give you the happiness. You have to be happy right now in this moment, you know? And a lot of women think like, okay, when am I going to get the boyfriend? When am I going to get the husband? And I used to be that person. I'm like, no longer waiting. I'm like, well, whatever, or no longer saying I'm not worthy of a man, or because your words have to change. And my words started changing the more I started tapping inwards and meditating and loving myself, the more that is reflecting to others, and that person is going to come find me. Nowadays I say I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. I'm always at the right place at the right time. My energy is captivating and beautiful and
Hmm.
addictive, whereas before, this person did not talk like this. I was waiting. I was like, when is it going to show up? When am I going to get the house? When am I going to, but when you surrender and you trust and you let go, God talks to me every day. He said, get off of your medicine. He said, it's coming. The diamond status is coming. I've seen myself on stage. It's like whatever it is that you want, you have to, your dreams and your goals happen two times. They happen in your head and in your hand. You have them in your hand. When you embody that diamond, you're already that diamond. You're a diamond in the making, right? You're being that diamond already. You know that it's coming. Like the same way, like this is the steps to having whatever it is that you want. You ask, you believe, and you receive. This is called the law of attraction. When you order your food at a restaurant, you don't say, when is my food, is my burger gonna come, is my filet mignon gonna come? No, you know that that waiter is going to bring your food, right? So the same thing, whatever you want from God, you start believing in God, you trust, you surrender, you ask, hey, this is what I want, whatever it is that you want. Then you ask, you believe, you surrender, you just literally, you believe that God is going to, in his
Definitely.
timing, in
Wait.
the divine timing, when your timing is right, he will give it to you. And then you just receive, you just wait for that right timing, and that's the last step. So ask, believe, receive. So right now I am in that receiving mode. I know it's gonna happen because I could just feel it. I could feel the energy, and just the way I am. I'm comfortable in my skin. I know what I'm looking for, and in terms of every aspect of my life. And and that's what we got to do. We have to start asking ourselves questions. What is it that we want in life? Who are we? Some of us, we don't even know who we are. So I needed to go inwards in order to shine like the person that I am today. I needed to spend a lot of time that I have by myself, which has been a lot of time, 12 years.
Yeah, it's
And
been a
you gotta
long,
be in
long time.
solitude. You
I'm
gotta be
just
in
wondering. I'm like,
solitude,
oh my
and you
gosh.
gotta be happy with who it is you are, before anybody else, you can make anybody else happy, or anybody else shows up in your life. That's just the reality of it, and that's what I know, and that's what I teach a lot of single moms and single women who are looking. I'm not no dating expert or matching service, but now I know this stuff, and I also share this as part of my story because it is part of my story. Because before I was searching, now I'm just being. You don't
Yes.
need to constantly do and look and search. You just be, and God brings it to you at your timing, your divine timing, when it's ready for you. At the right place, right time, for the right reasons. That's what I say.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome, really. Because what you've just said, I think a lot of ladies need to hear this. I think I need to repurpose this particular part for people. Yeah, because most times, people, most young ladies, or most ladies basically, they don't show up for themselves. They just session, like you said. And when you keep session, you don't receive.
Yeah,
Because,
because you're attached to the outcome, and you're waiting and waiting for something to happen for you to be like, okay, now I love myself. Now I have someone in my life, and really, you're just you're putting a band-aid on. You're putting you have a void in yourself because you're searching for outside of yourself for happiness, when all along you were born as that diamond. You don't need anyone. You're a diamond. You're
Yeah,
rare. You're unique. You don't need to be anybody else other than you. So
that's
that this is what
it.
I said recently. I said we're not human doings. We're human beings.
Yes,
Most
you're
of us we're
right.
constantly doing. I have to do this. I have to look prettier. I have to look skinnier. As women, right? I have to fit into a size 4 jeans, and I need to always be put together for a man to like me. But in reality, he's gonna not be drawn to that. He's gonna be drawn to your energy. He's gonna be drawn to who it is you are as a person, how you feel about life, being like that modern siren and be like, I feel amazing. Like every day I wake up with great energy and I want to help other people. This is the kind of person that that person's gonna want, not somebody that's needy or this is what I say, confidence speaks before you do, right? Your energy introduces you before you do. You could be the most beautiful person in the world, which I used to think. I used to emphasize on my looks and my body. But if you have the brain the size of a peanut, if you have no confidence in yourself,
Hmm.
you're like this supermodel who, I'm not saying any all supermodels, they're not smart or anything, but I'm just saying, looks are nothing. That fades. I used to emphasize so much on the looks and the body, and I used to say I always have to be like this certain size 4 and have my body in check. And the number on the scale used to say, my daughter sometimes says, Mom, you know, how come the products work for you more than me? How come you lost the weight and you kept it off? Because I'm consistent. First of all, everything is about consistency. You are what you eat, they say, or whatever you do. Like I said, the doctor's going to give you the prescription, you fill it, you take that medicine every day, you're going to get better. The same thing is what you want in your weight, right? If you're doing a lifestyle, something for a lifestyle, you got to do it day in and day out, and that just becomes consistency is key. And also, you don't make it about the number on the scale. Hey, the number in the scale doesn't determine your worth. I have to be 110 pounds. We say, no, it's not the weight. The number in the scale that determines your worth, ladies. It's how you feel about yourself, the person that you are, that person is going to be attracted to. And that's the reason why you should love yourself, because you're a beautiful diamond that was born to shine your light.
Wow, this is awesome and so insightful. Yeah, thank you so much for really sharing. Wow. Ooh, in fact, I'm like carried away because I'm really blown out right now. It's really like what everyone needs to hear. Everything you've talked about today, you've touched a whole lot about life, and this is what people need to hear.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
so
just about divorce. My story is not just about a divorce, not for just for single moms. It's for everybody who has a life, who's in this world. Like life is not meant to be easy. Life is hard. Life is happening every day. There's always going to be detours, there's always going to be setbacks, there's always going to be problems. Like I said, you're always going to be finishing one in the middle of one, the next one is already setting itself up for you, but you get to choose every single day. And this is what I do. Another thing that I do every day is like I say I choose me. I put my hand on my heart every day and I look in the mirror and I say, today I choose me. I choose to believe in myself. I can, I will, I must. Literally, because at the end of the day, like I said, it's you against you. You have to show up every single day for you. You are living your life for you.
Hmm.
You need to get your shit together to be the best
Best
mom, the best
one.
spouse, the best daughter, the best friend to your loved ones. And unless you work on you for you, mostly for you, because you don't want to be that people pleaser. I've done that all my life. I'm tired of it. I'm
Yeah.
tired of caring what people think about me. I'm tired of the self doubt. I'm tired of the limiting beliefs that I'm not smart enough or that I was, maybe not good enough and that whatever, I wasn't worthy. These are all stories that we tell ourselves. But
Hmm.
you need to return to the diamond that you were before life got its hands on you,
You
because
got
that's who
it.
you were your whole
Before the
entire life.
yeah.
And you still are. It's just that you forgot to shine your light. And this is what I say. If your light is too bright for others, you need to tell them to put on their shades. Because sometimes we're scared of we have this fear of success. We fear to be light this light person in front of other people who are insecure, we dim our light because we're other people who are insecure of our light. And there are always going to be those types of people who are energy takers. They're
You,
haters. They're people who don't want to see you succeed.
you
But
are
you
right.
just have to be that human being that wants the best for everyone. Because as a woman, if you're jealous of another woman's body, if you're jealous of another woman's success, like women were like that. We're competing against other women and their bodies, and she's skinnier. That bitch is so skinny. Oh my god, I want her body. And you're literally cursing out that woman when you should be like, oh my god, you have an amazing body. I love your hair. You have beautiful eyes. This is what I do. I go out and I compliment women because when you're secure, you love yourself. You're not jealous. And jealousy does not bring you happiness. Any
Hmm.
negative feeling of doubt, blame, shame, anger, resent. And I talk about this stuff in my yoga class. We're inhaling love, positivity, breath, consciousness, good vibes, right? Abundance, joy, all the positive feelings. And we're exhaling the blame, the shame, the guilt, the jealousy, the envy, the grief, the grief, the anger, the resent, and all these feelings that don't serve you. When you're in that negative emotions and you're thinking badly and ill will towards others, and you're constantly comparing yourself to others, and not like, if you see a woman and you want to get married and you're like, oh god, I want to be that person. I want, when is my turn? And you're just wanting and wishing, and you're jealous of that person and that the way that the husband or the boyfriend treats her, you're never going to attract that into your life
Mhm.
because you are jealous. And
You're right.
jealousy is negativity. We gotta be love, have love for that person. Oh my god, I'm so happy for you. I like comment on strangers' pictures on Instagram. They're getting married, they're having like these proposals, like in their, secluded islands, and I have already envisioned that for myself. It's just a matter of my timing. I'm not wanting and wishing. I'm just remaining. I'm being. I'm in that receiving mode. And you got to be like that. But what most of us think, we don't know. I didn't know all this stuff. Oh my god, I used to be jealous of women who were skinnier of me or prettier than me. And you don't know that if you are jealous, you're never going to attract that man into your life. You're never going to have that body that you want if you're constantly comparing yourself to that other woman or cursing out that other woman for having what you want, that you don't have it, and you're in lack mentality. But when you're in love, that's why my word for 2024, when I set my intention for 2024, it was love. Not to find love, not to for someone to save me and marry me and find that love. No, it's to be that love. Like I said in the beginning of the
Self love
podcast, you have to love yourself.
yourself.
And that is the greatest love. And that is the key to happiness in life.
You're
There
right.
would be no sadness, no hatred, no hurting other people, no talking badly about other people, no haters out there, no energy stealers. All these people are loving themselves. Nobody's going to want to say bad things about other people because you're so full of love for yourself, where your cup is overflowing. You're just going to want to love everybody else because you have so much to give. There's enough for you to give to other people because your cup is flowing. And that's how it has to be. You always have to look at the life as love. Be that beacon of love, that light in someone else's darkness, that sense of optimism and hope in somebody else's despair and thinking that
Hmm.
life is ending for them and they're never going to be happy. But this is the beauty of sharing your story.
Yeah.
Don't be embarrassed about it. Be vulnerable. Share the darkest moments of yourself because you don't know whose life you can touch.
Wow. Thank you. Because talking about sharing your story, that is very key. I was talking about it earlier this morning when we had a podcast and we talked about the ways you can heal in grief, and I also talked about it last week on Sunday when and most of those stuff I talked about on Sunday when I was interviewed, you just shared them right now, and it shows that it is the spirit is like just moving as one. Yes, because um now you need to share your story as much as you can. Don't allow anybody to bring you down. Don't allow your situation or the word judgment to judge you. Don't allow people to look at you and say, oh, she's sharing. She's not sharing. She's not, you know, forget what people think about you. One of the things, and the first thing I needed to do when I needed to be healed, when I decided that I wanted healing, was I stopped allowing judgments. I stopped listening to the word. Say whatever you want to say. Do whatever you want to do. This is me. It's my life. I live my life. And you know what? All those that judged me 2, 3 years ago, they singing my praises right now. Those that thought maybe these projects you're starting up, they are definitely going to crash because you are grieving or something. They're coming for advice and consultations and they're singing your praises. So you need to show up for yourself every day. As long as you're breathing, you need to show up for yourself. And I love that story you shared when you talked about your cousin who passed. Anyone that is gone is gone. He's not going to praise God right here on earth. He's not going to make money right here on earth. We don't know how it works right there. But one thing I know is that I want to live a fulfilled life right here. I want to live a purposeful life right here. I don't want to die like a chicken. I don't want to die and just go like that, like no.
Yeah, you want people to remember you, right? You want
Yeah,
people to say, "Oh my God, that person." Some people were living our lives for this, doing the same things day in and day out, not knowing that we're made for so much more, but we never took that first step to
that's
believe in
it.
ourselves, to chase after our goals and dreams, and know what our talents and our passions are because of what we were told when we were a child, that you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough to be a model, or whatever you wanted to do. Because, at the end of the day, people are always going to talk about you no matter what you
They
do in your life.
will.
Don't, like what you said about judgment, don't be scared of what people think about you, because everybody is in their own little world. People, I teach this in my yoga class. There's no judgment. Yoga is a journey of the self, to the self, through the self, and nobody's watching you. We always think people are talking about us in class, or like people are judging us, or people are watching us. Everybody's just as insecure as you are, but we should create these stories in our head, and the more you create stories in your head, you're gonna be a victim. You're gonna let your mind drive you. You Mindset is everything, and that's why it's so powerful to tap into the things that we talked about and the things that I did, because if you don't take in control of your mind is gonna start driving you. And no matter what, people are going to always talk about you. People are always going to judge you. I just say give them something to talk about.
That's it. And if you feel you cannot do all of that, then walk away from negative energy. Walk away from people who have negativity.
You just
Walk
have to
away from
surround
people
yourself
who
with
are doing,
people who are
yeah.
like-minded, people who
You,
are going to cheer for you, people who are going to, that's, they say that you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with.
mm-hmm.
If you surround yourself with negative people, you become negative. If
You become
hurt people
negative.
want to hurt people, negative, sad people want to make people sad. So you want to surround yourself with people who are going to light you up, for people who are going to believe in your dreams more than yourself, people who want to see you succeed more than yourself. Those are the people you want to keep in your life. And we always think we always have to keep everyone in our lives, like even family and people that you grew up with. You're going to drift apart. And I tell my kids this all the time. You're never going to have the same friends throughout your life. You might have one childhood friend that will be there for you through your, growing up. But it's okay to lose people along the way, because either they leave or God takes them away from your life because they weren't good for you. Every single person in this world is a lesson or blessing or both. The people that you meet in your life is not by accident, I say. It's not by accident. They
Some
were
of them are
meant to
just to
be in
pass
your
through
journey to teach you
in your journey.
something.
Yeah. So most times, like I always believe, I tell my kids that you meet people today doesn't mean that they're going to stay with you forever. Because some of them are just passing through because you need them at that stage of your life. And the
Yes.
next minute, when you don't need them, if you continue to keep them around you, then you committing a sin. because you're disobedient. Maybe God is saying, take these people, walk away from these people, let these people go, and you're trying to pull them back and stay with them, and you having all sort of issues with them, and you complaining. No, all you need to do is to know that everyone has his own purpose in your life at every point in time.
Yeah.
For this reason and this season, this person is not needed. Maybe later we may need him again, or we may
It
need.
might come back. Yep.
But right now, as long as it's not part of this journey that I want to take, then this person, I need to walk away from this relationship, or I need this person to walk away from this relationship. I need to go move forward, because in life journey, there's just so much ahead of us to allow people to pull us back. And when you focused in your dream and you decide that, okay, now I'm ready to take that first step, I'm ready to move, I'm ready to take the journey from where it is right now to the next step of my life, then you need to evaluate how many people need to move with you in that journey. And I tell you, most times, none of the people around you can follow you through that journey. None of them are even capable of moving from the level where you are to the next level. So you need to understand that. And since you're going to move from this level to the next level, if they are not capable to move with you from this level to the next level, then you need to take a step out of that relationship. So that is very key. And I really like the part when we talk about it's okay not to be okay. I talk about it most times here. I even have a shirt I wear most time. It's okay not to be okay, because the truth of the matter is we must not always be okay. So be yourself, be real, keep moving, and one day you will definitely get there. Because every step that we take, every day you wake up and you're able to stand up from your bed, or you're able to even open your eyes and you see this world again, and you can open your mouth and say, good morning, how are you doing? Fine. Or just something, you have achieved something very great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who cannot do that.
Yeah,
And
I just wanted to, if it's okay, if I, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah,
like, so like, see, like, if we have to ask ourselves, right? If right now you thought you were told you have 6 months to live, right? Did you do the things that you wanted to do? Did you say the things you wanted to say?
no,
Did you go to the places that you wanted to go? You have to ask yourself these kind of questions because life is short. You don't know when your time is up. Look at my cousin. She didn't know. We weren't prepared for her, or like no longer being here. And it took a toll a lot on me. You know, I used to like not want to think about her because it would affect my tinnitus and I need to keep my spirits up for this. And because stress makes it worse. And now of course I'm medicine free and I'm all healed and I create my own happiness and I know how to control my emotions and I'm always present and aware. But I used to not want to think about her because it used to make me sad. And that day when I went hiking a couple of weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, and she was there for me, and I just felt her there, and I was crying and at the same time smiling because I was just like, oh my God, she's with me. And she's like, through her, God was sending me messages like you're gonna be okay, like you're gonna be a success, your diamond dream is gonna come true, and you're gonna teach other people how to be they're that diamond in the making, right? And it's just like I just felt her with me and I felt my feelings that I've been avoiding for a while. I wasn't thinking about her because I didn't want to be sad because I'd have to keep myself positive and I would just tuck my feelings under the carpet and then it would always come out. It always comes out and you have to really really feel your feelings. That's why when you cry, you always feel better, don't you? Because you're releasing, you're like letting go of things that are inside of you, so crying is not bad. And you always have to know that life is seasonal, everybody. You're always going to get through what it is that you're going through. Anytime that you think you can't go on any longer, always know that life is seasonal. Everything that's happening to you, it's not going to last forever. Like I said, the sun does come out after every storm. After every hurricane, we recover, right? After every storm, the sun shines again. Like, you need to think of that. And all the times that you don't think that you can get up, that is making you that no matter what person, no matter what happens to you in your life, your resilience is limitless. No matter what the pain, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what the challenges, your resilience is your brilliance. Remember that. And besides believing in yourself, living with passion and enthusiasm every single day, resilience. Those are the three keys to success in life. Believing in yourself, living every single day with passion and enthusiasm, doing the job that lights you up, that whatever it is that is. Most people are living lives that they hate. They've been doing 9 to 5 jobs. That's the beauty of what I do. I work from my phone. I'm around for my kids. I don't have to worry about missing my son's basketball games because I know I create my own schedule. I'm my own boss. That's the beauty of it. I used to work at Bloomingdale's 9 to 5 jobs when my mother used to take my son to his games, and his father's not around. He's in Dubai, and I used to miss out, and I used to hate that because I wanted to be there for every step of the to be there to cheer him for his games. So you have to do things that light you up. Do the things that every single day. So you're really, really living. Most of us are not living lives that we love. And you have to be resilient that no matter what person, no matter what comes upon you, you are a warrior. You're going to stand tall. When I got through what I got through in my life, through the past 12 years, there's been 2 times where I really hit rock bottom and I did not no longer want to be here. I was on my knees. I was just like, God, take me. When I made it through those times and I thought I can't share that with you because I was embarrassed or share it with others, it made me realize that it's always going to happen. Life is going to happen. We're always going to come on our knees one day, but it set me up for a bigger breakthrough for me to be that beacon of light for other people, to touch one person's life. Maybe I might have pissed off a lot of people with what I said today, but I'm touching on a lot of lives because not a lot of people are not ready to hear the things that, because you have to be ready. Everything awakening is really me dying to every form that I've been to be this person, birth this woman. I had to die to everything that I used to think, like dieting and exercising like 3 hours a day. All my journey brought me to where I am today. All the lessons that I learned, all those little every mistake, every failure, every time that I didn't know better, every challenge has made me who I am today. And instead of saying, why is this happening to me nowadays? I say, what is this teaching me? Anytime you feel like something is off in your life, you're going to get a whisper. You got to listen to your intuition. God talks to me nowadays. He tells me, get off your meds. I got off my meds. You don't need them anymore. Chuck them in the garbage. That's what I did. Your whatever it is that you want is coming. You need to just be. You don't need to constantly be doing. Most of us think that we have to work so hard to what we want to have in our life, work so hard to make money. But money is energy. Your energy is money. There's more of where money came from. If you lose it, you're going to get it back, right? So your energy is money. And I realized that I don't need to work so hard. I just need to be. I need to be energetic. My energy, your energy and your frequency is what's going to bring the money into your life. So if like you're working and working, I have to work so hard, so hard. No, you just have to be. You were always doing and doing and thinking like I have to miss out on my kids' lives and I have to work so hard. Yes, a lot of people do. Yes, but if you understand how energy and money works and how your energy, your frequency, and how you're vibrating is everything, and that's what's going to attract you're literally, you work on your mindset and you work on your energy and you work on who it is you are. You're not a human doing, you're a human being. You have all the answers right there inside of you. You don't need to constantly be doing and searching outside of you.
Wow, thank you. I know I really need to bring you back here. Really, to talk more on most of
Anyway,
this stuff.
we're gonna go on for forever. I know I
Yeah,
love
because
to
there are
talk,
just so much
but
we need
I
to talk
think I
about.
think we touched upon a lot of things that a lot of people can hear, anywhere from like loving yourself to being a
Yeah.
divorced mom to being to loving yourself to falling down to picking yourself up to not making it's okay to not be okay. You know, it doesn't care. Stop people pleasing. Stop being in your own head. Stop having everything is about limiting beliefs and your doubts and your fears and all of that. And that's not who you are. That's what life made you till this day from your childhood. So, whatever age you are, I say that you're that adult in that little child's body. And if all of us need to understand, if you look at a young child, why are they so happy? Ever think of why your 8 year old is so happy? Because you need to be that 8 year old every single day. When you are given a new day, you be your 8 year old self. They're happy because life hasn't happened to them. They don't have a past blaming, shaming, coulda, woulda, shoulda, regretting. They're not looking into their future. Oh, I'm alone. I need a man. Who's going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to do this? They're not looking into their future. They're present. They're present. Life hasn't happened to them. And that's how you have to live every single day of your life, present and aware, moment by moment, day by day, not planning ahead. COVID taught us that you can't do that, and not looking into your past, because then you're not happy. You're not present. You're not living life right now. You're constantly in your head, past, future, which I used to do. And that's why be that 8 year old version of yourself, or look at your 8 year old child. That's your greatest teacher right there.
Hmm. Because really, you see, I like, because why I said you have to come back. I'm a mental health coach, and teach people a lot about meditation. I'm a PSRA, psychosocial rehabilitation specialist. So I teach people about skills and meditation and how they can move on with their breathing exercises and all that. And I think it is key that we come back again, because there's something about meditation. There's something about breathing exercises. There's something about gratitude. There's something that you just need to understand about these skills. When you have the right skills, you have the right mindset.
And
The
mindset
whole-
is key.
that's it.
Mindset is everything.
That is it. So when your mindset is right, you'll be able to move to the next stage of your life. You'll be able to do everything that you need to do. So I think I'm still going to schedule you again for another podcast very soon.
We'll do a
So
meditation for everyone, and I'll play my beautiful flute music too.
okay, good. So we may be
Yeah.
looking at sometimes maybe next week or in 2 weeks. So we bring you back again and we do something on meditation and let people see how they can meditate and how much it can help them. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So
Thank
how
you
can
so much.
people reach you? I know they can reach you on Facebook, on Suraia.
Yeah, so if you guys are know me on Facebook, I love to go live. I'm on Facebook as Suraia Yakubi, and then I have a Diamond in the Making group that you can reach out to me on Suraia Yakubi and message me, private message me, and I'll add you to that group, Diamond in the Making, because I will start being able to go live there next tomorrow. Actually, you have to be uh, the group has to be in existence for 2 months for you to start going live. So, and you have to have 100 followers. That's Facebook's rules. So I'll start going live tomorrow and sharing my daily what I do on a daily basis to help myself stay lit up and to shine my light, because it's every single day showing up for yourself, doing the things that you love. That's all. It's all about your energy, and that's what captivates others. That's what draws other people to you. That's the key to success in your business, your finances, and making money. And most people don't know that. So on Instagram, I'm Suraia, Suraia _model of fitness. Model of fitness. And to just to give you why model of fitness and not fitness model is because fitness models, like I said, like that girl was perfect, but she was binging after a show on magazine covers, perfect had everything going for her, but inside she had a void. She was binge eating, right? So I'm a model of fitness. I created that as my Instagram to empower women that it's about your strength. It's about being that person who loses all her energy but doesn't give up and gets it back one day, and then empowering women with my workouts that I started to do when I first created the group, and being a model, not a fitness model, like who's all perfect and put together on the outside. So that's Suraia underscore model of fitness. So that's
Wow.
how you can get in touch with me. And yeah, send me a message. I would love to chat with you. You know how much you can see how much I love chatting and talking.
Yeah, you love chatting. Oh my God. I'm like, oh, she loves chat. I thought I love chatting. I'm always like responding to my DMs, but I realized that I had someone who is better than me in that
Yeah,
aspect.
you can't shut me up. Before I used to never open my mouth and I'd be embarrassed or I'd cry or I didn't want people to see my weakness and my tears. Nowadays, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay for you to see me in every form of me because that's me and being true to myself, and you have taking off any masks, you know, that we wear throughout our lives.
That's true. Thank you so much for showing up today. Thank you
Thank
for
you, my
all that
love.
you
Thank you,
do.
Ruth, for
And
having
if
me.
you look at the description on this particular podcast, you definitely get to see all of her links and you'll be able to click directly and reach out to her. So, as you can see, she's looking so young, like a 28, but she told you her age. And whoa, I was like, wow, that's good. I need to do some fitness too.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank
Don't
you, my
forget
love.
to,
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I appreciate having you here, and I
yeah,
hope whatever I shared helped one person. That's all. That's my goal. That's why I do what I do, and I love to share.
yeah. Thank you so
Bye
much for
bye.
joining us. Don't forget to join us again next time. And also don't forget to purchase our book, A Pen That Rewrites Grief. We
Yeah, she's amazing. You need to like tune into her. Whatever. Look at that book, Rewrites Grief. You know, because you everybody we will be grieving one day in our lives. We're all creatures of one day grieving, but like going from grief to grace, you'll always, from painful divorce to an unstoppable force. Your pain is the portal to your greatest transformation, and it's not life happening to you, it's actually happening for you. So thank you once again for having me. Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much. So get our book and get to support our project, which is the Adopt a Grieving Family project. And also don't forget to like, share, and love all that we do here and talk to people about grief to grace because that is the whole essence of being here. So thank you so much, Ryan. I
Thank you,
love
my love.
you. I love you all for listening. I love you all for all the time that you did. And I realized that some person stayed from beginning to the end. I just love you. And that person is definitely going to get a gift from me. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
all.
Bye
I love
bye. Bye
you.
bye.